There comes a time when we must accept change, no matter how great. There comes a time when we must all leave home.
It's been almost a decade since the aliens arrived. In that decade, Project Exodus has made major leaps in technology. We've set up bases on Mars. We've bargained for other valuable bases with the other factions. On Earth, we've been mostly quiet, not getting involved in geopolitics, not stirring the pot. That is about to change. Our ability to take control of more territory is ready. Our mission control is ready to take on more daunting missions, and even our military is ready to strike. I've recommended to our CEO that we take a more active role in the world. We still need the other factions to buy us more time to complete our project. Nevertheless, we are ready to step out of the shadows. Project Exodus is about to make its mark on the world and the solar system. Hey guys, Stealth here and welcome back to TERRA INVICTA, episode 5 for the Project Exodus run. It is now it's April 16th, 2031. I have made some changes to my empire. I have, thankfully, been able to trade away my moon bases. Didn't need those anymore, and instead I have gained a few other bases. Notably, Jarvis base. Jarvis is a mining base on the Jarvis asteroid. It is generating a healthy amount of volatiles, which is going to mean that I get a very nice amount capable of being used as fuel. Also, I believe that some missiles also require these parts. The other one is the Hertha base. Hertha is still requesting additional power supplies, so another fission pile is coming online in a week. And when it is online, I'm going to get a lot of metal and a bunch of nobles out of this base. As for the cost, it was fairly cheap. So long as you can convince the other factions that your research stations in orbit of Earth, which were just tier 1s, are worth it, then they will give you these bases. So that you have to save, or you can save, a ton of materials and a ton of resources. The other bases, they're generating a fairly okay amount of resources. I mean, you got Mars Mining Base 1, which is on Utopia Planitia, generating 78, 71, 27, and slightly less than 1, but also a bunch of fissiles. So I have now also color-coded, if you will, all of these mining bases as per their different outputs. Putting me on 542 units of water per month, 414 volatiles, 251 metals, 47 nobles, and 88 fissiles. But that is of course without the full operational capabilities of this base here. And Olippen's Mons, I believe this does have power, this space lab does not, and I'm eagerly researching additional reactors so I can upgrade my fission piles. Still sounds a bit weird. A fission pile like it's just a bunch of fissile materials thrown together and hope that you can get some juice out of it. All of this expanding does mean that I am over my mission control cap. Now that can be resolved because I have a fairly healthy amount of control points. I have 252 out of 308. So I am eyeing Germany. If I can get Germany, then even with just one control point that the Academy might not be willing to give up, I will be able to get 3 mission control. Of course I would also like the next, but that's going to be somewhat more complicated. Now let's see. Grace, if I do send you to Germany, I have a 0% chance. It's because my popular support, well, let's just say with 20% I'm not that popular. So I don't have a lot of support. So I'm going to have Grace do some campaigning. Initially I was thinking, you know what, we're going to just get all of this additional mission capacity out of the nations around Mexico. Guatemala, full in on space program. We have Honduras, full in on the space program. The same for Nicaragua. The same for Panama. All of these are trying to get the space program operational, but that is first 50 points that I need to get. That's a lot. And then I can start working on boost. Now this region is not going to be able to get particularly much. Oh, sorry, not boost, mission control. It's going to get a top of 6, which is not stellar, but hey, it's a start. As for the US, we're still getting a bunch of research points, funding points. And with that, I am also investing heavily in mission control, as well as upgrading the military, because I now have 8 armies. I don't think I need any more. So this is fine. I just need to make sure that they're more updated. They're currently on 4.9, going to be 5.0 or 5.1 in a few months to a few years, I guess. We're going to have to be ready in case the aliens decide that they want to say hello. Now, as for this mission control issue, let's see what other nations might be interesting to get more mission control from. Of course, China is going to pop up, and China is going to go, hey, we got a lot of mission control, come and get it. Same for the European Union, but it is extremely well locked down. And this goes for pretty much all the various nations that have high mission control. They're all locked down, they're all very squarely under control of various factions, sometimes single-handed like Thailand under control of the servants, sometimes not so much, and you can see a bit of division here in the Alpine states. Egypt is interesting. It has 5 mission control. It's being held by servants. That means that one mission control point is only going to give me one control point is only going to give me 1, which is not stellar, but hey, it's at least the first potentially acquirable spot that we've seen so far. Greece is completely locked down. We got Bangladesh. Sure. No, I don't think so. What about the Eurasian Union? They only have 10? Huh. It's quite low, actually. It's quite low. Considering their size. I mean, this is a massive nation by now. Oh. That is interesting. If I can get both the United States and the Eurasian Union under my control, which, considering the cost against cap, is doable, I'm going to have a lot of firepower. Now, just going in with the military is an option. It's not an ideal option because they will probably throw a nuke my way. That's less than convenient. A quick peek at the alliances of Russia also doesn't really strike me as an excellent military target. I mean, you got Poland, okay, we got New Zealand, alright. Indonesia, Israel, China. Well, shit. I'm definitely not getting into Russia by the means of the military. So, I have, the way I see it, 2 options. I can go for Germany, and then potentially use Germany as a staging ground to start conquering more of Europe. It's not a safe strategy, but it might be a slightly safer bet than trying to engage the Eurasian Union. Neither option is particularly stellar. Neither option is going to yield any immediate results, but hey, that's what we have. I also have one other thing that I can go for, and that is the operations kit, operations center. This is going to give me another mission control per operations center that you build. They take a lot of juice, 40 power. It's not ideal. It's not ideal. It's offsetting the cost of the station itself by a bit, but not that much. Nevertheless, I'll take any offset that I can get before people start waging a mutiny on my station, which could be soon. So I have some work to do. Now let's go and try and take over Germany, and from there, potentially more of Europe. After a while, I have gotten a bit inventive and acquired some other means, or at least found some other means of acquiring additional mission control. I am stealing orgs from none other than the servants. I mean, they have the aliens on their side. Who needs mission control when you're a servant? So I've already taken one org that has a mission control bonus, and I'm going to take another one. The Rasalhag spacecraft job, or organization, giving me +3 spaceflight program research as well as 1 admin, or 1 mission control. It's not necessarily the easiest way to go about it, An easier way I have found is to simply take over Finland. Yes, why not? The Finnish, not very heavily defended currently, and the resistance, I'm not sure if they're eager to give it up or not, but whichever it is, I'm going to get 3 command points out of it, 3 mission control points, and a nice army, a 4.2. Speaking of armies, the Russians have made some less than opportune choices, shall I put it like that? Because what they have been doing recently is sending armies towards Mexico. They came back in a coffin. So the 2 groups that I have, the 1st and 2nd Blindida in Mexico, were able to destroy a couple of more advanced tank armies, or at least armies from the Eurasians, putting the Eurasians at a mere 4 armies. Now don't worry, that won't last long, because they're pouring everything and their mother into building armies, navies, and upgrading the military even more. What I don't quite understand is why the initiative is also looting the place for everything it has. They are using the spoils control, or the spoils priority, which means they're just robbing the place. They are taking as much value as possible out of the country, which is leading to a lower GDP. I don't understand exactly what they're hoping to do. I don't exactly know what their plan is, but the way they're playing it does not really mean, for me, that the Eurasians are going to be that much of a threat. The Chinese, different story. Nobody has any spoils on the Chinese active, but everybody has decided, even though they're from different factions, that importing or improving the military is important. So they're gaining a lot of military tech. So much so that, given enough time, they could prove to be a bit of a threat. So what I can do is use my own military, or at least upgrade my own military, because I'm on 4.9 still. Let's just give it another pip across the board. Maybe even 2 pips. So that means 33% is going to go to the military. 22% is going to go to mission control, which will give me another control point, or another mission control point. And with this in my head, or sorry, in my hands, I can also start upgrading the arrays on the various stations that I have. Because I now have access, happily have access, to the upgrade to the fusion arrays. I can build the fusion reactor array. Now this one generates 10 power, this one generates 42. So you need a lot fewer of these things. I'm going to upgrade 2 of them, and I'm going to build an operations center to help offset the cost. It'll replace the pile, that's fine, and it's going to take me 180 days, and I can do this for the other mining bases as well. So Mars Mining Base 2 is going to also get an upgrade to the fission reactors, and then it's going to get a mission control base. This way, the base sort of offsets its own pricing. Not entirely, but hey. Oh shit, that came from Earth. Not entirely, but hey, it's better than nothing. Yes, fine. I want to get this built in space, otherwise it's going to take me a lot longer. Another thing I can upgrade / swap out or swap in is the hydroponics bay. It's only the tier 1, but it will help offset the cost of any items that I have in space. Of course, right now I don't really have the ability to power the thing. So yes, I can use it, and I am going to build it. I don't mind sacrificing an energy lab, and this will help offset the cost of these bases. Meaning that, slowly but steadily, I'll be gaining a lot more funding. Now something else that I have, I was going to say stolen, but okay, fine, I stole it. It is a module that is going to allow me to defend the place. It is not the point defense array, it's the layered array, which I believe can only be built in space, but I'm not 100% on that, because I generally haven't made it this far into the game yet. So let's have a look. We have the ELO station here, the low Earth low orbit Science 1. It has taken a bit of a beating, and you can see that all the modules have been destroyed. But I can at least replace those with additional solar collectors and start fixing this situation. Build in space, build in space. Here we go. Now that I have the additional availability of the operations labs, I can use this station not as a science station, but as a massive operations plant. And especially with the upgrade that I'm going to be getting to the solar panels, I'll be able to start powering a lot more. This is going to take me a month to power. Building these is going to take me 180 days, so half a year. But let's change Science 1. Actually, do I need to have it this close in orbit? No, it doesn't need to be this close in orbit. So better not waste the low Earth orbit and go for a medium orbit. And that way make sure that I actually get some more use out of it. So this is going to be a few more research modules to the tune of, let's see, what do I need? Material science, I really don't have a lot of. I could give them a point defense array, defected from attack, automatically upgrade weapons and armor as we develop new techs. Yes, I would like to have one of those. And then, yeah, I think I'm going to make it a much more of a material science station, because I really don't have that many. Alright, don't want to power the whole thing yet, because I first have to upgrade these solar panels, and I'll do the rest of the upgrading to the stations off screen. After a while, a very interesting project has popped up. What do you guys think about the dissolution of Russia? In the end, it was just a creaky old empire. Finland, hey ho, I have a place in Finland, has a claim on Murmansk. So does Karelia. The whole place starts creaking and falling apart. That is interesting. If I can have Finland declare war on Russia, and the US pitches in with its military firepower, I might be able to break I might be able to break the Russian Union apart. That would cause a lot of issues for the initiative. Let's see if I can make this happen. As I was waiting and scrolling around the rest of the globe, I found Spain to be isolated, really. Spain, 11 mission control points, is allied with me and with Romania. Shame if one of those alliances would fail. Shame if the American armies would suddenly roll over and find that Spain is undefended. There's no army there. So I suppose it is time to have a little stint in Spain. It's going to require some prep work, of course. We're going to have to make sure that the US is realigning itself and looking to different alliance options. So I'm going to say, you know what, Spain? I am no longer your friend. In fact, you're my rival. And with that, I may declare war. So, it is going to be time to set a different policy for the US, and as such, a different policy for the whole of Operation Exodus. We are no longer just going to be lurking from the shadows. We're going to be actually playing the game. We're going to be going on the offensive. Alright, I need somebody to start setting a national policy in Spain. Sorry, not in Spain, in the United States of America. As for my operations from Aluna, she has been desperately trying to kick the resistance out of Finland to no avail. When it comes to the Protectorate over here, no, I don't really want to talk to them. I just want to purge this control point. With all the influence that I have, I'm really finding it quite hard to spend it. So I have no problem throwing in a whole bunch of influence just to try and get one control point these days. So, Spain, I hope you're ready, because you're going to get a visit from the United States Army. As it turns out, I am not the only one. India was probably awaiting its turn and saw that Spain is no longer protected by me, in essence. So India has decided to declare war. This is not great. They have 6 armies, and I suppose that they're going to be eager to get underway. I don't know exactly when they're going to get to Spain, But I have yet to declare war, and then I need to get my ass over there. So this is going to be a race for the base, if you will. Let's see, can I already go to Spain? Here it's nice this time of year. No, can't. Okay, we're gonna have to wait until we actually declare war. Like this. Declare war against Spain. Sorry, Amenity First, I know that you have important priorities, but so do I. The United States is asking its ally Canada to accept the join on the attack war, sorry, join the attack on Spain. Yes. Same for Mexico. Yes. So, time to start the party. Time to see who can get there first. If I send these guys, and how long is that going to take? What? Why can I not deploy this army yet? They have a navy attached. No, they do not. These guys do. Come on, boys. Places to be and Spain to... No? Spain to see?
We're in control here.
Ah, finally. Well done. Ah, we got the Panzer Division, yes. Finland and the Benelux are no longer friends. That goes for a whole bunch of them. So... why is it so hard to deploy these guys to Spain? There we go, yes, to Madrid. 20 days. Oh boy. I hope I'm going to be there first. Oh, it's probably because they're not next to the coast. That's it, they cannot leave. You guys, however, can. So you too will go to Spain. You're going to arrive there 2 days later. That's fine. If I send these guys, the 1st Marine Division... it's going to take them 22 days. So let's send 3 battle groups. 4, actually. 2nd Infantry Div's also going to go there in 21.5 days. So hopefully, in about 6 to 8 weeks, we shall have full control over Spain. It was really painfully obvious from the start, of course. Spain never really stood a chance. Now, this means I'm in control of Spain. I'm going to immediately ally Spain with all my guys, and the game fortunately does this automatically. And I'm going to try and negotiate a peace, if that does not happen automatically, with India. I don't want to be... oh, sorry, I am allied with India. So that fixes that. Now I have control over Spain. Thank you very much. That does put my control points at 305 out of 325, but it also pushes my control for mission control up quite a bit. Let's see what we can do with this nice little country over... well, nice big country over here. How many regions do I have? Yeah, I can still up the amount of control, or mission controls, quite a bit. When it comes to defending the place, they are allied with me, so I don't strictly need to build an army. I'm not going to put any points into that. I'm not going to put any points into boosts. I'm not going to put any points into funding. No, I want mission control. I want to maximize the amount of mission control from Spain. I want to make sure that one of my councillors is immediately going to fortify my opportunities here, defend my interests. And then... oh, I don't know. Is Portugal next? Portugal is not next. Portugal is defended by the European Union. That is a bit much. When it comes to Italy... it's too many control points for me to handle. I cannot currently go over 325, so that's a no. I might, however, eventually use all of my American firepower to start going after Russia. Because I have slowly but steadily been working on the Dissolution of Russia project, which will give Finland a claim. It gives Finland a claim over this region here, Murmansk, which would be, of course, fairly crazy. But speaking of fairly crazy, the Eurasians, keep coming after Mexico. They are still at war with Brazil, with Mexico, and with Ethiopia. They only have 3 armies left. Recently I sent another one of them home in a box, and they just keep trying. They just keep building more armies, and they just keep shipping them out. So where number 4 is going to go, which is going to be happening any day now, remains to be seen. At any rate, their military technology is improving, but it's essentially only a 4.2. Whereas I am approaching 5.0. So soon, I'm going to have a lot of firepower from those 8 armies that the Americans have. For now, I think it is best that I ship them all home. I don't need any of these guys in this position. And if they are away from home, they're really only very expensive. So let's airlift all of them home and make sure that these guys get a bit of R&R after a very, very quick war in Spain. Another project I was waiting for was the farm. This is going to make sure that I have a very, very low amount of consumption for volatiles and water, as opposed or as if the station crew of 250 people does not exist. That's very useful. Thank you very kindly. I can make good use of that. Let's continue the dissolution of Russia. It's going to be just 3 months until I complete that job. For now, let's have a look at what those new farms can do. It's probably going to take me a while before I actually be able to upgrade those. You do not build a farm in a day. Let's see, where's my farm? Here, Hydroponics Bay. I can upgrade that to a farm. Oh, it's only 60 days. It's fairly easy. Right now, what am I doing with this? It takes very, very, very little, of course. If I power this down, we're looking at -3 and -3. It's now -2 and -2.3. So if I upgrade it to a farm, then the whole crew is going to go to offset. That is going to be even more so for all the mining bases. So Ceres, the other stations, Mars, Jarvis, Hertha, they're all going to get their own farm, which I'm sure people will appreciate. They might be done eating MREs. Now, it's going to take a little bit of time before I am able to get to that dissolution of Russia project, so I'll see you guys in the next episode. For now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for more Terra Invicta.